Hello guys, welcome to Acquire Knowledge. This is your Monesh Mustageer. In this today's session, we are talking about the continuation part of reproduction in organisms. In last video session, we are completed with the binary fission and the binary fission as well as budding, and the incestation and sporulation were also completed. Most important thing, we are talking about the only some of the structural units of the reproduction in asexual kind of reproduction. That is nothing but the and again some of the vegetative propagation in case of the plants. So how they are going to be exhibit, what is the definition of that, and what is the importance of that, entire thing we are going to be discuss about in this video session. So most important thing we are going to be talk, so each and every these things which are mentioned in your NCERT. So for the first and the most important thing, that is nothing but the zoospores in case of the Chlamydomonas. So before coming to that, most of the organisms, they are having some of the specialized structural units for their mode of the reproduction. That is nothing but specially asexual kind of reproduction. So most of the simpler organisms, they are going to be exhibit the asexual kind of the reproduction. Is it right? So within that simpler organisms, like the most of unicellular organisms, they are going to be exhibit such kind of asexual kind of the reproduction. Even some of the plants like the algae, they can also exhibit the asexual kind of reproduction. Even some of the fungi, they can able to exhibit the asexual kind of reproduction. So even within the animals, like there comes under the poriferans, they can also exhibit the asexual kind of reproduction. Some specialized by some specialized structures, those are nothing but the sponges. The sponges are also can have ability to exhibit the mode of asexual kind of the reproduction by specialized structures. So we are going to be in this video session, we are going to be discuss about the so each and every more asexual kind of the reproductive structural units one by one. So the first and the most important thing, we are going to be begin with the plants. So within the most of the lower plants can able to exhibit the asexual kind of reproduction. So not in case of the angiosperms. The higher plants, they are having the specialized structural units for their mode of reproduction. But most of the lower plants, they are going to be exhibit the asexual kind of the reproduction. Within the lower plants, we are going to be classified, that is nothing but the even algae can exhibit the asexual kind of reproduction, and the even fungi can also exhibit the asexual mode of reproduction by some of the specialized structures. So both these algae and fungi, they are going to be exhibit the asexual mode of the reproduction by the specialized structural units. We are going to be called as those are nothing but the zoospores. So what is the meaning of these zoospores? So most of the zoospores are going to be exhibited by the Chlamydomonas. They are going to be mentioned in your the book. That is nothing but the Chlamydomonas will going to be exhibit their asexual mode of reproduction by the special structural units called as the zoospores. So zoospores are nothing but these are the structural units. So the structure of the zoospores are like this. They are having the flagella. The flagella is nothing but the special structure which is help in the locomotion. So why they are going to be mentioned as the zoospores? The meaning of the zoospores is nothing but the zoo means nothing but the animal. So if you are saying that just classify the plants and the animals, will going to be most the promising example we are going to be mentioned, that is animals, they are having their locomotion, but the plants, they are going to be never exhibit their locomotion. So animals, the locomotion, they are having the locomotion characteristics. For that, they are going to be mentioned as this. The spores are named as the zoospores. Zoo means nothing but the animals. The word it is itself favor for the animals. And the most of these zoospores are nothing but they are having such kinds of the structure. So the flagella, which is helping in the process, are the helping in the mechanism of the movement. So these spores can have ability to individually develop into the new organisms. So this is the mode of the reproduction through the structure, that is nothing but the zoospores in case of the Chlamydomonas. This is the most important thing for the point of the NEET examination. So which structure will help in the process of the reproduction, and these are everything are the most important the structure. So let me discuss about this some few characteristics about these zoospores. These zoospores are nothing but they are minute and microscopic in nature. They are minute and microscopic in nature. Microscopic in nature. So these each and every structures are the very minute, and they are always microscopic in nature. These are nothing but those are nothing but the zoospores, and these are always going to be exhibit the locomotion. Is it right? Or they are going to be, we are say as the motile in nature. They are always motile in nature. These are the most important, the promising characteristics for the zoospores in case of Chlamydomonas or the Chlamydomonas. So most important they are again the zoospores are nothing but the asexual structural units. Those are the minute and the microscopic in nature, very smaller, and they are going to be exhibit the motile in nature just with the help of the flagella. Is it right? So and the very next important bit is nothing but the conidia in case of the penicillium, that is nothing but the fungi. How the fungus will going to be exhibit their mode of the reproduction. So we are going to be discuss about it. So in conidia in case of the penicillium, that is nothing but we are talking in the fungi. So the structure of the conidia is like this. So these are the structural units we are talking about. So conidial spores are present. So these conidial spores which are help in the process of asexual mode of the reproduction. So this conidia will help in the asexual kind of the mode of reproduction in most of the fungus. So the specially they are mentioned the example as the penicillium. So these conidia have ability to individually grow into new organisms. Is it right? So the very next one is the buds in case of hydra. So in the last video session we are going to be discussed about the budding, that is nothing but the hydra, they can able to exhibit the asexual mode of the reproduction just by the buds. So how? So in the last video session we are going to be discussed about the structure of that. So the hydra can have ability to exhibit such kind of the smaller the buds. So these buds initially they are going to be attached with their parental body, and later onwards they are going to be grow and mature, detached from the parental body, and they are having ability to grow into new individual organisms. That is nothing but the buds in case of hydra. So these are the most important, the promising structures of the units, the structural units of the asexual mode of the reproduction. And the very next one is the gemmules in case of the sponges, that is nothing but the poriferans. In most of the animals they are going to be exhibit even for the asexual mode of the reproduction just by the help of the gemmules. The structure of the gemmules they are going to be mentioned in your NCERT like this. So within this structure they are having the smaller, the structural units, the microscopic smaller structural units we are going to be called as the gemmules. Right? So and even they are having this, the spine-like structures, they are going to be called as the spikes. So this diagram was clearly mentioned in your NCERT. Go and watch the diagram and you will going to be come to know the definite idea about it. So the gemmules are the specialized structural units in case of the poriferans. In most of the NEET examination they are going to be asked that, so the chlamydomonas will going to be exhibit which kind of the asexual structural units. So these are the most important thing. The zoospores are exhibited by the chlamydomonas, and the conidia in case of the penicillium, and the buds in case of the hydra we are going to be discuss about it, and the gemmules in case of the sponges, that is nothing but the poriferans. These each and every individual, the gemmules, they are having ability to give rise into new organisms. So these spikes are nothing but these are again made up of the some of the made up of some of the nutrient elements, so which are helping the protective in nature for the developing of the future gemmules or the future sponges. Those are nothing but the poriferans. And the very next one we are going to be talking about the vegetative propagation. So these are the mode of the reproduction in case of the different organisms. So next and the most important bit is the vegetative propagation. What is the meaning of vegetative propagation? What it indicates? So in most of the plants we are going to be use this term vegetative propagation or the vegetative propagules. We can able to also use propagules. So vegetative propagation is nothing but the asexual kind of the mode of reproduction or some of the structural units of the asexual reproduction which is exhibited by the plants. So in most of the vegetative propagation we are going to be observed in case of the potato, ginger, banana, agave and the bryophyllum, and in case of the even water hyacinth. We are going to be discuss about the each and everything one by one. So these are the most important examples which are mentioned in your NCERT, you must and should focus on these examples for the point of your NEET examination. So in vegetative propagation or in vegetative propagants, we are going to be talk about the first one is the eye of potato. So we are each and everybody we are know that the potato, they are going to be exhibit some of the bud-like structure on the potato. So those are nothing but we are called as the eye of potato. These even individual eye can have ability to give rise into the new entire potato. So even we can able to remove this one, and we are going to be place for this one for the in the soil for the germination. We can have ability to give into new potato. That is nothing but the vegetative propagation in case of the plants. So these are going to be exhibit the vegetative growth. So the potato, the eye of the potato is the first example. So eye of potato is the best example for the vegetative propagation in case of the plants. And the next one is the rhizome in case of the ginger and the banana. So the rhizome in case of the ginger and the banana is how exactly they are going to be exhibit their reproductive structural units are nothing but so we are each and everybody we are going to be observing the ginger. So these structures they are having some specialized structures we are going to be called as the rhizome. The rhizome are nothing but the reproductive part. So some of the nodes and the internodes even we can able to observe some of the roots. The roots we are going to be specially called as the adventitious roots. So even we are going to call as the nodes and the internodes are also present. So these rhizomes are the very most important reproductive units in case of the ginger and as well as the banana. So these rhizomes can have ability to grow into new organisms. So these are having the germination capacity, or they are having the germination ability in case of the ginger as well as the banana. And the last one is nothing but the bulbil in case of the agave. Then the agave in the agave plant, the structure we are going to be known as the bulbil. The bulbil structure which is help in case of the mode of the asexual kind of the reproduction. And the next one is the leaf buds in case of the bryophyllum. Most of the bryophyllum, the plants they are going to be exhibit the asexual mode of reproduction just by the structure of the leaf buds. At the margin of leaf, we are going to be observe some of the leaf buds, so which are have ability to grow into a new individual plant. So these structures are nothing but the leaf buds in case of the bryophyllum. At last, the offset of the water hyacinth, that is nothing but the Eichhornia crucifix. We are known as the Eichhornia crucifix. So these offsets how exactly the units are. So these plants are going to be exhibit their mode of reproduction by the offset. So individual plants they are going to be so this is the complete plant. They are going to be exhibit the stem connection. Later onwards they are going to be cut their connection and going to be grow into new individual organisms. Such point we are going to be called as the offset. Offset are nothing but in most of the water hyacinth or the Eichhornia crucifix, we are also known as the terror of the Bengal. In coming video we are going to be discuss about it. These water hyacinth can able to exhibit the asexual mode of the reproduction by the offset. Offsets are nothing but here they are going to be cut and broke down the stem connection between the two plants and will going to be have ability to grow into two new individual organisms. So these are the very most important the structural units of the asexual kind of the reproduction. So the examples are the most important thing. Keep remember it and going to be asked in definitely in this topic in the NEET of the examination. You are going to be get the 1 or 2 questions. So the zoospores in case of the Chlamydomonas, Conidia in case of the Penicillium, that is nothing but the fungi, buds in case of the Hydra, gemmules in sponges, vegetative propagations are nothing but the eye in case of the potato, rhizome in ginger and the as well as banana, bulbil in case of agave, the leaf buds of the bryophyllum, these we are going to be discussed, and the offsets of the water hyacinth. These are the very most important thing. So guys, if you are get this video beneficial, please kindly share, subscribe and share this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you.